Damn. My room is like so messy. Holy crap. Let me like put this up so I can act like. Holy crap. I didn't realize it was so bad in here. Anyways, how I miss you. Oh my god, I'm wearing the same shirt that I wore in my last one. That's okay. We can see how much weight I'm gaining over time. I'm tracking my weight gain now. I'm just kidding. Yes, Spot, you better be awake. I was gonna say. That's what I had to say to you. And you're first, by the way. Oh my gosh. I feel like I have a lot to talk about, but I also feel like I'm too gay to function right now. Ew, why? Why did you take that? Are you trying to pass out on me? Really? Oh my gosh, what is this new picture, Caleb? Total Gen Z vibes. I need to see what that picture looks like up close. I don't care if your back is hurt. Oh my god, I'm so tired. No, I'm not tired. I feel weird. Oh, okay, he's just wearing a hat. I couldn't really see the picture. I thought it was like Gen Z cauliflower hair vibes. Okay, I take that back. Sweater. This isn't a sweater. This is just my big ass fat shirt, which I'll wear forever. I don't know. I think I'm so like, I don't even know. I am so crazy right now. I'm so serotonin-y. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of viewers. Maybe that's a glitch. I'm gonna pretend it's a glitch. I bet fighting systemic oppression is a great way to fix what is wrong. You know, I almost went live on the wrong channel. That would have been great, wouldn't it? Um, I mean, fighting systemic oppression, it's like daily. Like, it's like a daily battle. Like, I get up every single morning and I get to work immediately from dawn until and just 24/7, honestly. Yes, I'm always doing the work. I'm always doing the work every day. Um, oh my gosh. So I don't even know how to describe how I feel, but this is my gay channel, so I can be really gay and like obnoxious with how I talk about things, which is great. Um, so to put it simply in a way that's extremely complicated, um, I feel really similarly to the last time Jupiter was in Taurus, which was 2012 and 11. And I feel really similar. I feel like I'm in high school. And that's like a good thing and that's a bad thing. So it's a good thing because it means I feel younger. It means I'm back to life. It's a bad thing because it means that I was still really, really ill in high school. And so that's a little bit of a reality check for me to just realize like how long I've been this sick. And I don't know. I feel like I'm not even as much in my red era right now. I feel like I'm in my eras era. I feel like I'm on tour. That's what Eric always tells me. Eric is like, you're not in an era, you're just on that set list during the tour. I'm like, kind of, to be honest. I think I am a little bit in my eras era right now in December because I'm just very reminiscent and nostalgic. And I don't know. It's weird. I feel like if Sam were to give me this chart that like tells you your vibration, I think nostalgia is like one of those vibrations. So I'm there. I'm I don't remember how I felt. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really think of how I felt back then until it came back. And how it feels is essentially like I feel like I could go to a concert right now and start crying at a concert. Like I feel very emotional. I feel very Enneagram 4. I feel very me, like how I am. I'm a very emotional person and I feel like really in touch with it. I think I was kind of numb for a while, or numbed for me, anyways. So it's like I'm listening to all these like kind of old songs from like the scene back in like 2011 and 2010, in that range. And I'm also listening to a lot of 2000s music. And I'm remembering like how moody I was when I was younger. And holy shit, I was moody. I've always been that way. Um, so I don't know. It's a weird feeling. It's weird to feel like you're coming back to yourself. And oh my God, Caleb. I think it feels weird to get back to yourself, but from an older perspective and a wiser perspective. So like I feel like myself, but I also feel like I know everything still. um so you're going to be doing more lives with Eric, or are they being rescheduled? I have to be kind of touch and go right now just because there's really 2 months that are very hard for me. October, I think is just hard spiritually, which I know is a weird thing to say. And I know people are probably like, what the fuck? But I think October is just difficult for me spiritually. It's like a very spiritual time of year for me, and it's very intense. But physically, December has been a very hard time. Pretty much the whole time I've been hypo, which is literally about 15 years, which is insane. I feel like I did the work on being hypo. Um, I really did the work on that because I've been hypo for 15 years and I'm just kind of realizing it. And it's weird because it's almost over. It's coming to a close. Like, I don't think in a year I will be hypo. I think I'm going to be okay. Or I'll be very mild hypo, barely even noticeable, but it's just a weird feeling. It feels like a capstone, it's like I'm coming to the end of an era. Um, but yeah, that's why I'm not really streaming with Eric as much, because I have to focus on work. So during this month, it's really important that I do as much work financially. So I'm going to be working a lot. And then the other part is I have to be kind of okay, just because like I don't know what my body's going to do. Like it's definitely going through some stuff, which we'll get into, because Sam was kind of curious about that. Because I was talking to Sam earlier and he was talking about how he went through a similar feeling when he was getting off of, I believe, a serotonin drug. And I feel the same way, but I guess my serotonin drug is obesity, which is just great. Anyway, so I think I broke Alex's Taylor addiction. I don't think you did, Caleb. I think I am just craving like male singers lately. I go through phases. And so I feel like I had enough of like, girl power 3, Barbie slash Taylor Summer. Like I'm kind of over it a little bit. And I want to hear guys. I know it's like horrible. You're like breaking gay code right now. I'm never supposed to want to listen to male singers ever. That's just so evil. I'm betraying the girls. I'm just kidding. But no, I don't know. I'm just not, I don't know. It's funny. It's like I go through phases. Like you can tell like where I'm leaning. So it's like when I'm wanting more of like feminine stuff, then I'm super into Taylor. When I'm wanting more of masculine, then I'm like watching Tim Pool. And then I like switch. Because Tim Pool and Taylor Swift are like basically the same person. They're just like the male and female version. Like they're like the feminine and masculine version of the same person. To me anyways. So I feel like I can see like where I'm leaning because there are times when I can't stand watching Tim, not because he's bad or anything. It's just I get tired of it. And then there's times when I can't stand Taylor and I get tired of it. I'm just like, oh my God, Taylor, like, ugh, you know. So that's kind of how I am right now. But I still love her. I always still love the person. I just, I gotta rotate things, keep it fresh, keep it cool. Gold was really good, yes. Gold is good, Caleb. That's a song by Years and Years. And yes, is Years and Years gay or is that just a vibe I'm getting? Because it seems like Valentino is a very gay song. Alex wants to meets what? Meets Showtime. What does that mean? Some to me. Okay, I had a feeling, Caleb. I was like, I think he's gay. um, that makes sense. He's good. I mean, I like it. I think they're really good, actually. Um, I should probably listen to more of them, but I'm not really wanting new right now. I'm wanting like really old. Like I've been listening to like All Time Low, Simple Plan. I mean, that is like, oh my God. I listened to that horrible song called Bad Day, but I think like it's just really cringy. But that's like how I'm feeling. I'm feeling like The Fray. I'm feeling like, you know, especially Simple Plan right now, which is really emo. I'll just put it to you that way. He is so freaking emo. Oh my gosh. Whew, gosh. Um, but I've really been enjoying it. Like it's making me like cry. Like I feel very nostalgic. It makes me feel like I did in high school. It's a really weird feeling. I think that's just a part of getting older. You start listening to older irrelevant music and it reminds you of when you were young. I'm just kidding. That's terrible. But it's not really like, I don't know. I don't feel like it's as much like just being old. I think it's just like I said, I feel like I could go to a concert and I would get chills. Like I kind of wish I could just go to the House of Blues with my friends or something. Like I miss doing stuff like that when I was younger. And I think it's a sign that I am getting healthier because it's like I'm wanting to go out and do stuff like that, or I'm wanting to have more experiences and that kind of stuff. So you're wanting some male/muscle showtime. Oh my God. It's not always sexual, Celtic. Gosh, I can value a male for who they are or whatever. I don't know. I can't think of the gay talking point right now, but I can value a guy just for who they are. Doesn't have to always be sexual. Not that it isn't usually, but that's only with specific guys. So, for the record, Sweet Talker and Muscle by Years and Years are really good too. Interesting. Yeah, well, I'm listening to the evil straight white men lately. Um, super evil, super problematic, but I have been listening to them. And I was just thinking about it and I was just like, like I think the guys in the scene, they were actually really sweet, like a lot of those guys. Um, and I think they helped a lot of people. I just kind of like remember that. No, I know, Celtic, I'm just being extra. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's just interesting. It's interesting because it's the ways that I relate, and it's the ways that, like it's weird when I listen to songs like that because there's a part of me that relates to how they feel, and then there's a part of me that it's like I want a guy to sing something like that about me. So it's like I kind of, like, flip-flop in my head. It's really interesting, and I'm just like it's just weird. It's just nostalgic. I feel very nostalgic, but it's not a bad thing. The only thing that's bad is I am moody, and I'm not that stable. to be honest. Like, I feel like if somebody were to push me, I would just like, oh, hi, Brooke. I'm not sure if I recognize you on here. I don't know if you've been here live. Um, I, oh, yeah, okay. You want your Romeo? I do. I do. Um, but it's just like, oh, wow. I don't I don't remember you then. I don't remember you. I'm sorry. Does that mean? It's been a long time. Anyways, I'm sorry. I'm going in for trial day. Oh, nice. Yes, I know. I know what you mean, Brooke. Oh my gosh, Caleb. Have you had this is gonna sound really old and extra, but I'm just curious. Have you had a job before? I'm curious. I'm so curious. That's interesting they're having you do a trial. That's interesting. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm super nostalgic. I think it's better. Oh my gosh, you want that European introvert bottle of sunshine. Not introvert, I like extroverts, I'm sorry. But I can appreciate introverts as friends. Which that's the kind of guys I'm listening to. They're like all introverted and like really emo. So it's like they're more of like a friend to me, but I like extroverted guys, I'm sorry. That's so bad. It's not bad, it's fine. It's how I am. I'm introverted, okay? Like if both of us are introverted, then we're not gonna do anything. Like I can't, it's hard for me to be like, let's go out. Like, oh gosh, I don't want to have to do that. It like makes me want to die. Yes, I want balance. Yeah. Thanks, Brooke. You get it. You get it. It's like, I don't know. Because a lot of extroverted guys, they're like, I want somebody that will ground me, or I want somebody who will, you know, tell me to stay in sometimes, like so that I can be more balanced again. And it's like, I can be that person. Like, especially now that I'm like, I'm not a psycho hypo now. Um, I can actually be calm. Like I'm actually calm. And I think that's more attractive. So I might actually be okay in the dating world relatively soon. Because yeah, I haven't been calm in a long time. My customer experience stories, oh my gosh. Oh, what kind? What do you think will happen? So you're going into a restaurant and you're just being, oh, thank you, Brooke. You're so sweet. Um, you're going into a restaurant and you're just diving in. So you have no experience and they're just gonna have you start taking tables and stuff. Like, but I need you to ask a specific question about customer service because I have a lot. I've done a lot, but I haven't done it in a long time. I'm rusty. Because my call center days were back in 2020 and oh my God, I fucking hated it. I hated it so much. It was so awful as an introvert to do that. It was just so horrible. Like, I don't even know how I did it. It wasn't bad for me though. I'm glad I did it because it taught me how to speak. Because I don't know if you know, Brooke, but I did um, tech support for a cable company or like a television provider company. And I had to like tell people, oh, you got to plug this into your TV, or you got to not do this, or I got to like send a ping or do this or do that or whatever. So that's what I did. And I would do that for like hours and hours a day. And a lot of times it's like people don't understand what you're saying. So you have to re-say it in like 5 different ways. And it was just, it was kind of, it was difficult, but it did teach me. And I think that's why I can actually talk. Like, I've had like you guys remember Mysterious? He used to be in these streams a lot. And he used to tell me, he'd be like, "Oh my gosh, you're so articulate," or "You can speak so well. Like, I don't think I could do that." And I'm like, it was not natural at all. My ability to speak is completely earned. It was not natural whatsoever. Last time you described your ideal man, you described them as introverted sunshine. No, I'm not extroverted. But other than that, yes, sunshine 100%. Definitely like sunny and optimistic types. 100%. I like douchey too, though. I like a lot of stuff, so you gotta just be the right, like, the guy has to be the right mix of what I want. But I like a guy that's more of a can-do attitude, but I do like somewhat douche too. Like, I like feeling like he could punch somebody if, like, I needed him to, you know what I'm saying? So, I'm not really I don't know. I'm not, like, super into nice guys, but I'm not into assholes either. I think I just want a guy who's just a guy, you know? Um, anyways, of what trial position are you doing in the restaurant? Yeah, sir. How are your first phone calls? They were horrible. Absolutely atrocious. I didn't know what I was doing, and so I sounded really stupid when I was doing it, and I was like I was being trained, and they're like and I'd be like, "Hi, this is Alex, blah, 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 speaking, or, thank you for choosing blank. How can I help you today?" Or whatever. That was my intro. And they're like, "Your intro's really good." They're like, "Yes." And I was like, "Okay." And oh my God, it was just fucking horrible. Like, I took the calls okay, but it was like I still sounded completely dumb. I don't know how to describe it, but it was just like horrible. So I will just say really grueling and horrible. That's what I would say. I like practically having panic attacks, having to do it. I did not want to. Um, I did not want to do that at all. It was so scarring. It was weird though, because I was so commonly misgendered. I'd say about 80% of the time I was called ma'am, which I would just let it go because I don't actually care that much. But it was just interesting because there were a lot of customers that would treat me like a woman, and then sometimes they wouldn't. So it was really weird, but it was like 80-90% of the time. So that was awkward. Um, but it was okay. Like I said, I survived. But I think my voice was actually even higher then, which is kind of insane. Um, because I was really estrogen-y at the time. I probably had super low testosterone back then because I was so unhealthy and I was so fucking hypo. Um, Captain Planet Wolverine from X-Men, maybe. That might actually be accurate. I don't know Captain Planet that much, but that kinda does sound right for Um, so that was that was awkward when I was doing customer service and doing that. Like, the worst times were, like, when there'd be customers on the other line and they'd be, like, debating on if I was male or female. It was really scarring. And I would try to just, like, not engage in it because it was so awkward. Because, I mean, there were some guys that hit on me. Like, it was really scarring. Like, they would call in and they would want, like, a schmorn, and they would kinda hit on me and stuff. Like, I kinda got some of the flavor of, like, being a woman. It was weird. It was really weird. And I wasn't gonna say anything because I'm like, "I don't wanna freak this guy out." Like, whatever, you know? It was scarring. It was really scarring. So, loves it. It's because my name is, like, Alex, you know? So, it's, like, up to interpretation. Oh gosh. Yeah, they would. It didn't happen that often, but it was so scarring. It was so scarring, but I just let it go because, like, I only remember it because it happened, like, 3 times, and I worked for them for, like, a year and a half, and it only happened, like, 3 times. I remembered it every time because it was so embarrassing and scarring. It was just so horrifying. It was horrible. I was like, "Oh my god." Um, but yeah, I mean, honestly, Caleb, like, I don't remember. I think you said you're introverted. Like, honestly, it's just gonna be grueling and you just have to do it. Like, there's no, like, code, there's no, "Oh, well, if I just do this, then it will work out," or, "If I just say that, then it'll totally be a vibe." Like, no. It's not gonna be a vibe, there's no code, it's just gonna suck. And you're just gonna do it, and then eventually it'll get better. And when you talk to them, you're probably gonna forget what's on the menu, you're gonna forget everything, and you're gonna seem like you don't have a brain. Um But you'll survive. What was your worst customer experience? There was only, like, a few. It was pretty rare, but there were some where they start to threaten, like, they can even threaten violence and stuff, and, like, there was only a couple. It was almost better when they did something like that because then I could you could escalate it and get rid of them. But when it wasn't that bad and it was, like, just, like, you're sucking, like, there were times where I just sucked. And so they were getting really mad and I was sucking. That's really scarring. Or calls and they're lasting like an hour and a half and you're on a call for like an hour and a half and you're dealing with a customer that's like really angry, or really getting frustrated because I would also have to do billing too. So there were times where like you get into really big fights. Obviously not, Caleb. You're not allowed to ever do that. Um, but there were times when you're in these grueling long calls that are like an hour and a half or 2 hours even, and it's like, if the person hates your guts the whole time, it's really scarring, and you have to, like, maintain control. So, I don't remember anything specific because the thing with me and work, like, I don't know if I'm just not a millennial or, like, I don't know if this just missed me. Maybe it's the fact that I have some Capricorn in me, but I don't take things personally at work. Like, I just don't. So when I was doing stuff with customers, like, I never took their anger personally. I never internalized it. Like I said, it was just awkward with some of the gender stuff. That was awkward, but it wasn't like I was really offended or whatever. Like, what do I care? Yeah, I'm sure there were times when I wanted to scream or when I just, because you do have some nasty people sometimes. But in the end of the day, I don't remember it. But most of the time, what you would get is you would get like, they're really mad at the company. So they're mad at you. Why did you guys do this? Like, we'd have takedowns. So, takedowns is when a contract negotiation falls through and you don't have the channel anymore because the contract and the company, like the channel and the company didn't come to a conclusion. So they take it down. And when that happens, the company gets flooded with calls and people are extremely pissed. And they were super pissed. Like, so a lot of times it was like sports. Um, I don't want to say which one was affecting mine, but I guess I could, but I don't know. I don't really want you guys to know who I worked for. I won't say what it was, but it's like, I guess I can say it, whatever. So, like, it was baseball. We didn't have baseball. So you get calls. Why don't you have this? Why don't you have that? Oh my gosh, what's going on? Blah blah blah. I'm so pissed. I want to get rid of my plan. I hate your guts. Basically, like, I hate you. You don't have this channel. And people would get so nasty over it. And the other thing is like, they're like, I'm paying for this. I bought this. I'm in a contract. I wanted this. I want out of my contract. Blah, blah, blah. You don't have this channel anymore. Blah, blah, da, 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 da. So you're talking to them and you're going through this. And then you hang up and you get another call and it's the exact same issue. So it's just over and over and over again all day. I mean, that's tough. Now the company said that it was even worse when there was once a Fox News takedown. When Fox News was not on the network, everybody had mandatory overtime and they had to stay because they had to talk to like everybody because everybody absolutely flipped their shit when Fox News wasn't on there. And it became like political and everything. So I think that was the only thing that was worse than baseball. It's crazy. I wasn't there for that though. That was like way back in 2011 or something. It was like old tea at the time. But I dealt with the baseball one and that was brutal. That one was pretty brutal. It was brutal. But yeah, it was tough. So that was probably like one of the hardest things about working at one of those companies because it's essentially like you're being yelled at for something that you have nothing to do with. And you have to explain it to the customer and be like, this is, the way that contracts work. And, they're just trying to get you upset. And we're trying to negotiate with them. And we want them to, we want to keep the channel up and blah, blah, blah. And, all this stuff. Yeah. So it's like, but it would happen with anything. Like it depends on the actual channel. But there were only certain ones that were taken down that would cause like a huge. And so the one that I dealt with, it was baseball. I think it was like, I forgot what network it was, but it was the network that had all the baseball games. And people were so fucking pissed over it. Like, oh my gosh. I don't know if it was MLB. I think it was something else. I can't remember it exactly. It was something. It was horrible. And then a lot of times too, you'd have to deal with like the company changed the package. So like a certain channel, like maybe they had the channel, but then it was removed from that plan and put on another plan. And so then they're pissed because they have to upgrade to get the channel that they were getting. Like it was just stuff like that. I feel like that stuff was really annoying. Like that was really hard to deal with. And then, of course, like every year, they would increase the prices, and you have to deal with a string of calls about the prices going up. So it was like that kind of stuff. Oh, yeah, I'm sure you would, but I mean, I understood it, but it's like that's the kind of stuff that we would deal with, and people would be really pissed about stuff like that. So it's like, oh my gosh, like I thought I was getting Hallmark. Why am I not getting Hallmark anymore? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, well, this is on this pack and blah, blah, blah. And you have to add this channel pack to this. And, it's like somebody, um, somebody didn't like, or it's like they're talking about how their plan is too much. So they want to like downsize their plan. So this is something that would happen all the time. So when you're in the billing customer service area, which I got promoted to tech, which was way better than customer service. I hated customer service. So one of the most common things in customer service from a television company is that they'll call in, they'll say that they wanted a certain channel and or like they'll call in and they'll say, I want to downsize my account. This is costing too much. So that's a super, super common thing. And we would have like these charts where we'd have to go through certain talking points and you have to like just follow the track basically. And so what would commonly happen is that people would ask for a lower service and the person wouldn't be thorough enough about what channels were most important. So it was really common for somebody to call in pissed that they lowered their package and the channel they wanted isn't there anymore. And then I think we had a rule that you couldn't change it like super fast. So it's like it was just ugly. It was ugly. So those were ugly conversations. Like that kind of stuff was horrible. And the other thing was like when people had billing issues. I don't know what it was with me, but I could not handle billing issues. Like my brain would just turn off. And I was like, "Oh my god, I don't even know. I don't even know what the billing is." Like, and they'd be like, "Why is my bill this much?" And blah blah blah. And I wouldn't be able to say. I mean, it was really scarring. Like, I'm telling you, like that kind of stuff is like horrifying. Like, and to think, like, I used to go through that like every single day. I used to go through that every day. Like, I mean, and I'm introverted. It's just scarring. Like, you have to just act like you know what you're talking about. It's really scarring. It really is scarring. Yes, that's exactly it, Celtic. So that's exactly what I'm talking about, is something like that. Imagine being a conservative and the customers are calling you a libtard because Fox News isn't on there anymore. Just have to take it and remain calm. No, actually, if I was talking to somebody, I would usually tell them I was conservative. Especially because where I worked, there was a lot more conservatives that had that, because it covered a lot of rural areas. So I did fine, like, because I worked for them in 2020, and we talked about Trump, and we would talk about how awful Democrats were, like, and we got along really well. So it was kind of like everything. But there were times when liberals would call and they would just start bashing Trump, and I would just be like, and I just wouldn't say anything because I certainly like no, like, but they told us like you could just say whatever you want to them, basically, like as long as they're happy. Was so weird, like, when I think about it, the culture of it. So, I could have lied, I guess, and just been like, "Yeah, Trump is horrible, oh my gosh," like, if I was talking to a liberal, and then if I'm talking to a conservative, then you gotta be like, "Oh my gosh, Biden is so horrible, oh my gosh," because it's like you just want they wanted a good customer experience. So it's that kind of thing. It was funny, especially because it was 2020, so it's obviously like a super political year. So I talked to people a lot about that. Sometimes, Caleb, sometimes you would. Um, like sometimes you get started on something and then you just have like a really good conversation. And they didn't really like it when we would talk long on the phone, like it would affect our metrics, but sometimes I just wouldn't care because it was just such a horrible job that when it was like pleasant, you just didn't want it to end because then you were gonna have to talk to somebody fugly right after. So there were times where there were really good conversations. It was a really weird job. It was weird. You should totally do it, Bot. I think you do great. Could you imagine, Bot? Could you imagine? Could you imagine if you would talk what if you talked to people for 10 hours in a day? Because that was the thing about it too, is it was scarring. Like, it was like, "Hi, thank you for choosing blank. This is Alex. How can I help you today?" "Okay, blah, blah, blah. Well, I hope you have a nice rest of your day. Thank you so much." Blah, blah, blah. But they would say, "Don't ever say thank you for calling." They were like, "Don't ever say that." They're like, "We don't want them to call." So that was like another thing too. It's like they don't want you to call. So you have to never say like thank you for calling or anything like that. You have to just say, "I'm glad that we resolved your issue today," or whatever. It was that kind of thing. And then you'd always have to say like there's all these other options that you could do besides calling. Did you know that you could actually go on the app and do this? Blah 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 blah. Basically, so that you don't have to call. Telling you. I got the ins and outs. I know it. So yeah, it's tough. But yeah, it was hard and like I don't know, but the metrics, um, that's hilarious. But yeah, it was scarring, and then I had to do like meetings. Like it was very corporate, so I had to go to like corporate meetings. Like we would do these gay meetings, like when we were at the office, and then when we weren't at the office anymore because of Cove, And then we go to Zoom meetings, and it was just horrible. I hated it so much. There were times, honestly, when I was binging during those meetings. Like, I was just making, like, 50 million taquitos and just eating them because I hated it. I hated it. I hated my job. I hated it so much. Like, it definitely helped me grow, though. So I think there is a benefit to taking a job that you fucking hate because it can teach you, like, resilience, and it can teach you, like, what you don't wanna do, if that makes any sense. Um, but it's no way to live. You wouldn't wanna do that forever. But definitely when you're young, I think you should do jobs that you don't like. I think it helps you, kind of builds character. Usually the package change up has to do with wanting more money for helping to provide easy access to channels. It's basically price ransoming providers. Interesting. Yeah. I'm using their customers as a legend. Yeah, it's true. Are you sure you want to talk to someone? Oh my god, that's so funny. Are you sure you want to talk to someone? The banks here have closed down almost all the branches and charge massive fees if you bank in person now. Oh, that's weird. I don't know how it is here. That's freaky though. You're a nanny? Are you serious? What? Oh my gosh, spill the tea. Was that your double life? Oh my gosh, so interesting. So yeah, that's my advice for you, Caleb. I'm glad that you're doing it. Hopefully you get the job. Um, but yeah, you kind of just have to dive in and just make shit happen, basically. I mean, that's what everybody does. So don't think that like you're dumb or something if it goes bad. Like the biggest thing I think people that haven't worked don't understand is that every single person at a job is basically winging it, especially at like a restaurant. Everybody's winging it. Um, like people nobody's perfect. Don't feel like you have to be perfect, but you just gotta learn and you just do the best you can. And if you mess up, you mess up. You have to just keep going. And I think perfectionism is like such an issue for a lot of people that haven't, or that are at their first job. Like you don't need to feel that way. Like there were so many times when I was doing the call center job that I just flubbed. Even now, the job I do, I flub it sometimes. You just flub it sometimes. It is what it is. Nobody's perfect. But you just move on and take the L and it is what it is. So I think that's what you need to do. So when you go to do the restaurant, Caleb, just know that you're gonna flub, you're gonna mess up, and just like let it be. Like I remember one time I worked at McDonald's and I like was so weird that I couldn't like hand over drinks to somebody. I was so crazy. I don't know what the hell. I don't even know how I was alive. Like being as introverted as I was, like I don't know how I did anything. Cuz now I'm just like gosh, like that is so not a big deal to like work at the McDonald's window, but I did not want to do that at that time. Like oh my god, it would like I would have rather died. It was just horrible. I remember I was like so weird. I couldn't like hand drinks to somebody without being weird. But it's like things happen. And it was really fugly and the guy was like so mad at me because I was like really lame and I think I spilled the drink a little bit. Like it was bad. It's like you have moments like that. They will happen. You will be humiliated. Well, yeah, you're not like deathly introverted. I was like unhealthy introverted, like too much. So I'm not like saying that's what an introvert is. I'm just saying like for me, I was too introverted, like unhealthily introverted. Now I'm completely fine. I'm completely I'm very introverted, but I have no issue talking to people. Like, it's fine. I just will avoid it at all costs. And like, I like to work alone. I like to be alone, that kind of thing. Um, but I'm totally fine with being around people and talking to people, but I will avoid it. So it's like that. I refuse to use the phone. Yeah, I used to refuse to. Yeah, I totally get you, but totally on your level. Totally there, but like, I still would rather die than like call for an appointment or something. I would just not. Even to this day, I won't. I don't want to. That's why I'm like, I want an extroverted boyfriend. I want somebody who will do that stuff for me because I don't want to do it. It's just horrible. It's like death. I don't know how to describe it, but no. Many people say that introverted people put on a persona when working in customer service. I think I don't know. I don't know if that's true. I think it's just I think everybody has to. You have to be just professional, you know? It's just a professional environment and it's not personal. I think that's where like I get frustrated with the education system because they really push like school to be personal and I don't think that's helpful to children. Like the social emotional learning and stuff, like I don't think that's a good idea at all. Like work is not emotional. Work is not your family. Work is not like I hate it when they try to act like your job is like your church or it's like your family. It's like, no, it's your job. Like it's not personal. Like in a lot of ways, the more personal you get into a job, the more problems you're going to have typically. That doesn't mean you can't have friends and stuff, but it's like when you're friends with bosses or if you like start dating somebody you're working with, like it can be a huge problem. And so I just don't think it's a good idea to be super personal at work. I just don't. Um, because you always have to like you are working and if you can get a better job, then you should leave, basically. Like if you get this job at the restaurant and you learn and you figure it out, and then you're able to get a job at a nicer restaurant, then you need to go to that nicer restaurant. So it's like you always level up with work. You don't need to feel loyal to a job or something like that. I don't think that's true. But it is good to stay for a year. So if you get that job, you should stay for a year. Because if you leave too fast, then it can look bad on your resume, if that makes any sense. So if you get the job, Caleb, stay there for at least a year. If you stay for a year, then you can put it on your resume and people will know that you're like more serious or you can last or whatever. It really helps. And it also counts as experience. But you just have to go into stuff like that calculated. It's better if you can do a year. A year is better. Um, a year says a lot. But once you start working, you might not want to quit until you have another job. But it depends. I know you're in school, but it just depends on what you want to do. But it's really good to stay for a year. After a year, just quit. I'm just kidding. After a year, you can try to find, or even when you're approaching upon a year, you can try to find another job. I would say infrastructure probably more basically get into the caffeine addiction. So you can do sort of extroverted energy or maybe introvert. Yeah. Well, I think too, like it's just exhausting. That's all. It's just tiring for an introvert to like do customer service. It's tough. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think every introvert should do it at least once in their life. Like because it really does help. Like I grew a lot from doing jobs that involved customer service. Like my first one I did was at the airport where I told you guys I pushed wheelchairs. It was in 2017. That was my first real customer service job where I had to talk with somebody. And it was very difficult for me, but it did help me kind of get over my anxiety, but I had to just force it, to be honest. There was no like there's no mindset. There's no like, oh, let me just manifestation this away. Like, no, you just have to do it. Like, there comes a point where you just have to force yourself to do it. It's just the way it is. And I don't think they talk about that enough these days because everything is like, oh, well, you need a medication or, oh, you need to meditate or something. And it's like, no, you need to just get up and do it. Like, if you're introverted, your issue is not that you're not reflecting on it enough, it's that you're not doing it. So just go up and go out there and do it. That's the only way you're going to grow as an introvert. Because if you just sit on your ass or like think about things, you're not going to grow. Like that can help an extroverted person. An extrovert can grow from sitting on their ass and reflecting. Or even like some extroverts can grow a lot from being alone because they're never alone. That's like more it's like more of an uncomfort zone, or like it's less of a comfort zone for an extrovert to be alone and like especially meditating on themselves. That's like a very hard thing for most extroverts to do. So that there is like some growth for extroverts to do that. It's the same thing though, where it's really good for introverts to like get up and do something or like go on stage or like go to a customer service job or like teach something, do public speaking, like all those types of things are really, really huge growing experiences for an introvert. Like sharing your thoughts, getting criticism on your thoughts, processing it and like reacting in real time, like that kind of stuff is really helpful. Like getting out of your head as an introvert is necessary. It's not just like an idea, it's like a requirement for health. Like you have to challenge yourself. So Caleb is right. Fake it till you make it. I think so. And you get better. You get better. You know, like if you flop tomorrow, you're going to get better at it eventually. It's going to be okay. So it's like I said, I never had to call them, so I received the calls. I was not calling anyone. Do introverts think more than extroverts do? I would say probably. Probably. Extroverts, I think when they think, they talk. I'm not saying extroverts don't think, I think they do, but usually they talk as they think. So it's like there's a lot more talking, you know? It's a lot of talking. But they think, but I do think introverts, it's just like it can be like a constant chain of thinking, like 24/7, like all the time, all like constantly, like and it's like always analyzing everything and oh, this is that, and they're talking to me like this. What does that mean? And this is that, and da, da, da. Like it's just like, oh my gosh, it's like kind of exhausting. Um, but I think the real difference between introverts and extroverts is that introverts are more, they're kind of like they've I think they said that introverts, they have a more sensitive nervous system. So it's like you feel more stimulated by less stuff. So that's like the biggest difference. So it's like you're a lot less likely to be bored if you're introverted. It's like a lot harder to get bored because a smaller amount of stimulus is stimulating enough for your more sensitive nervous system. And that's the biggest difference. So it's like extroverts, they're not as sensitive. So if they go to a large crowd, and everybody's around them and everybody's being loud, that feels like a normal level of stimulation. Whereas for an introvert, that feels exhausting pretty fast. So, like, let's say you're going to the club or a concert or something and you're mosh pitting with everybody and there's blasting music and flashing lights and everybody's like touching you and everyone's like screaming and yes, and you're like all bumping into each other. To an extrovert, that's like normal. That feels fine. That feels like fun or pleasurable because when there isn't all that happening, it feels boring. Whereas for an introvert, that feels so hyper stimulating that it's exhausting. Within like a couple hours, you're like dead. But when you're alone in your room by yourself, you're still stimulated, even just being in a quiet room by yourself. It's like very stimulating because your nervous system just requires less to be stimulated. And that's the biggest difference. So I wouldn't say that extroverts don't think as much. I would just say that nervous system difference is the difference. Yeah, so I had to start answering calls. Yes. So you get a call, bing, answer. Hi, this is Alex. Thank you for choosing blank. How can I help you today? Okay, I hope you have a nice day. Thank you so much for choosing blank and da 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 da. And then pick it up again. Um, do it again and again and again. Hold on one sec. Oh, wait. Let me see. Maybe I don't need to hold on. I need to get my laundry together. So let me actually start doing that. Because I thought I was going to do it, but now it's getting later and I'm tired. Okay. Yeah, so I did have to answer calls. It was really horrible. But yeah, and with the company I worked at, it was like back to back to back to back to back all the time. So it was just constant. That was a very challenging job for an introvert. Like that was super challenging because not only did they do that, but they wanted me to make sales or to try to push sales. And that is just like in death to an introvert. Like just truly horrific to do. Like honestly, it was so horrible. I thought I was gonna die. Like there are certain things that are just like you just can't even believe how horrible it is, you know? So it's a bakery with a restaurant attached to it. It's a very popular place. Last Saturday, oh wow. Yeah, it's tough. Um, the closest customer service I did was volunteering at the help desk at the hospital, and I wasn't a candy striper. I was just a volunteer. Interesting. I've been thinking about basically joining the volunteer group when they do the events at that one theater. So basically, I have the people that I know that are doing them. Yeah, that's good. I mean, stuff like that is good. Like I said, it helps. It's like I said, it's kind of like how with extroverts, a lot of times extroverts will benefit from therapy or they'll benefit like from having a therapist or they'll benefit from meditation, like especially meditating on themselves or like on their feelings, or they'll benefit from taking alone time to like focus on their own goals and not like focus on like everyone else. Because a lot of extroverts, they spread themselves super thin and they don't get anything done. That's like horrible. So that's like more so their problem. Um, it's a big, I read that. I think volunteering is a good thing to do. Yeah, it's good. I think it's good in general to do. I think it's just a good thing if you have the time. Yeah, I could see that, but I could see that working for you. I think it's just good to like I said, you have to just realize like there's never going to be a time when your anxiety goes away. Like the only way your anxiety will go away is through confidence. The only way you get confidence is through experience. So literally all you can do is just do it. And that like is literally like nails on a chalkboard for an introvert to hear, but it's the honest to God truth. And the other thing is like, as for me, especially as a super introvert, so I'm very introverted. If I don't stay engaged with people or in public, I can start to lose touch. I can start acting really weird or start, communicating weird things that people can't relate to, or like you can start to lose touch, especially over a very long time. If you're alone for a very long time, it's really not good. So I also think doing that job during Cove, it kind of saved me because it forced me to keep talking with people when I was in isolation. And so it kept me from becoming a complete weirdo, I guess to say. I don't know how else to say it, but when you're super introverted, you can just get caught in your own thoughts and you can just like lose touch with reality. It's really weird to say that, but you can. Um, yeah. So I would say that's not the most balanced spot, but I do have to say I think it's really good that you're in Zooms and stuff like that. I do think that's a start and that helps, you know? I think that that kind of thing is really good, but it is better, like, it is good to be out in public or, like, actually talking to people, like, "Hi, how's your day?" "Oh, it's good, blah, blah, blah." Like, that kind of stuff is good to be doing that on a regular basis. It keeps you in touch with other people and with reality. Um, so I think that's really important for like super introverted people to do. And it's not like always like crazy reality or like you're losing touch. Sometimes it's just like you're too emotional. Like for me, it was like if I was too alone, then my feelings would start going insane. And I just start thinking about like all these feelings and they weren't even real. So it's like I could feel like I really hated somebody, but then if I was in the same room with them, I didn't hate them at all. So it's like I could run away with my feelings. So for me, it's more of an emotional thing, but it's still losing touch with reality. Like if I feel like my emotions are like totally nuts, but in reality they're not, I still lost touch. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's not always like actually just full on delusion or whatever. It can just be like you lose touch, or like there are some introverts where they just want to escape reality and go to like a dream world or something. Like it depends on the type of person you are, but it's like that's not healthy. Like you need to be in reality, you know? I think a lot of Gen Z is introverted actually, and you can see how they are on TikTok and stuff, and they like talk about crazy stuff, and they're like, I'm time blind, and I think I'm 57 genders, and I think I teleported to another dimension today. Like when you see those kinds of like TikToks, those are unhealthy introverts. Those are very unhealthy introverts that are not in touch with reality. So I would just say, like, if you're feeling like that, you're probably not getting out enough, and you're not ever going to get better unless if you go out. Like, you're just not. Yep, everything is like that. You just have to do it. You aren't always going to feel like doing things. The cleaning, just have to do it. Work, just do it, pretty much. I think just I think it's important to realize too with anxiety, like baby steps are really big. So it's like you just take steps and kind of like build confidence day by day. And that's really good. So it's not like you have to jump into the middle of the ocean. Like you can start in the shallow end and dip a toe in and then dip a foot in. You can kind of just like piece by piece, but it's still like really important. Yeah. So I asked my mom to watch TV with me at night or else I spend more time worrying. I think that's great. Like spending time with your mom totally counts. I think it's good, you know, just spending time with people. It's good. Are you talking about self indoctrination interruption, basically coming up with your own terminology language? Maybe I am, Celtic. It could be. Were you ever hypochondriac? I def am. So, hypochondria was one of my symptoms of severe hypothyroidism. And it's because a lot of times, if you don't know that you have hypo, you have symptoms and you don't know what it is. But also, one of the symptoms of hypothyroidism is horrible anxiety. So that anxiety can easily be about your body and like your health. So I definitely had hypochondria. It was a part of my hypothyroidism though. So fun times. Which it is still like I was dying at a certain point where it was like so bad, but that was a very short amount of time where it was that bad. And it was very slow. Like the way you can tell the difference between like a hypochondria episode versus like reality is like real diseases and stuff, they take a long time to formulate. Like when I got to the point of almost dying of hypo, it had been about, 10, 12 years of this hypo developing. It had been a long time coming. I had done a lot of fuck shit with my body in the years leading up to it. And then it was Cove. Horrible. Put me in so much stress. Like anything else I had, it was leaving me. So the timeline thing is more certain people that want to drag out certain chores, try to procrastinate certain work. That's funny. Yeah, bought a 36. Gosh, I'm so tired. I might have to go. I hate that I'm like a grandma now and I actually go to bed. It makes me sad. It really does. Like, I feel like a grandmother. I was going to do laundry and I'm like, I'm not doing it. I'm just going to go to bed. I'm going to finish out this freaking laundry basket though. I'm tired. I only took 1/4 the dose of muscle relaxants because I was scared of it and I feel nothing. Oh my gosh. Well, I don't know. I think it's just like, I don't know. I think that's something that people need to understand too is like, if you're too introverted or too extroverted, it is a bad thing. So you should do some steps to like balance it out a little bit. You don't have to be the other thing. Like, I don't believe in that. Like, I don't think everybody has to be an ambivert. I don't think everybody has to be this or that, but I just think there does have to be some balance because like I've been so incredibly introverted and it is just so not healthy. Like it makes you feel really kind of crazy, honestly. And so part of my healing journey of like, post Cove has been working in the public and constantly being around people. And it's really helped me because I feel like I'm really aware of like how people are, like, especially when you do YouTube and stuff, a lot of YouTubers lose touch with reality because they're like never talking to people. They're never going out. They're never doing things. They're like just behind their camera. And so they start to lose touch with like how society actually is because like I can assure you guys, like my main channel, that comment section, it's pretty similar to reality. Like I would say my comment section, it might have like a slight tilt towards the left. Like it would be kind of like if I was in California. That's kind of how it is. But in general, it's like pretty on point. But it's because I cultivated that. Like I don't push people to be anything in my audience. So it just ends up kind of coming to the middle. And that helps me. Like I'd rather know that, or have just everybody involved rather than being like conservatives are evil or F the libs or, anything like that. Like I don't want that. I just want like it to be whatever reality is. I want my audience to be as close to reality as possible. So, yeah, because it can help you keep that feedback and stuff. And that's stuff that a lot of creators don't do. Um, especially introverted creators, it can be a problem. Rather than like a Tim Pool, for example. Tim Pool, he doesn't lose touch with reality because he has like 5 million employees working for him and he's always out. Like he does stuff all the time. So he has a very good pulse on how people are. He goes out in public and talks to people, which is so crazy extroverted to me. I would like rather die. But it's like that's oh yeah, Tim is 100% extrovert bot. Super extrovert. Oh, you sleep a lot. Wow, that's a lot. Oh my gosh. I love Caleb. That's too much. It might be too much. I mean, I do think women do need to sleep a lot. So it's not too bad, but it might be like 9 would probably be better. Does that make sense? I think 9 is totally fine. I know the women's do have to sleep more. That is true. That's a thing. It is a thing. It's a thing that nobody acknowledges. But it's true. I don't have to sleep that much. I think I'm good with like 6 or 7 hours. I'm like totally peachy. Um, like completely fine. If I get less than 6 though, I'm like, "Oh girl, no." Then it's not enough. So, I don't have to sleep a lot. I'm fine. If you aren't exercising, it's common to get pain. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think it's just what kind of stuff? Gosh, I'm like literally so tired. I'm like, I'm finishing this. I don't care. I'm finishing this. Gosh. Oh, that sucks. Oh yeah, I guess I can say too. Um, so I guess the physical stuff, it's all the same like serotonin-y stuff. It's just like if you could take what I felt in the summer, but like lower the volume to where it's like 10 like it's let's say in the summer it was like an 80% volume. Now it's like 20%. It gets like drastically less. So it's like I almost don't even care to talk about it. But I get a little bit serotonin enhanced like in June, tiny bit. I still get rosy cheeks. I have twitches in my eye. That's kind of new, but I've always had somewhat twitching in my eye. So I get that. And then like it just started twitching. I've been having this eye twitch so much. It's been driving me insane. Um my armpits are still crazy. They're not as bad though. So it's like nothing is as bad as it was in the summer, but it's all still there. Um but mentally it's a lot better than in the summer. It's kind of like I said, it's just I'm a little bit unstable, a little bit more tired, but not bad, a little swollen, but not bad. So it's not too bad. That's why I haven't complained about it because compared to what I've been through, it's so minor. But the only thing I do know of that is occurring right now is the serotonin is still coming down. And it's coming down a lot. I do get nauseous sometimes, and I did get a 2-day migraine as well. Um, so that's kind of what's been going on, but it's pretty low key. I was gonna do a health update, but literally everything I talked about in my last health update, I literally covered everything. I was like, wow, I literally don't have to do one right now. But yeah, it's just a lot of serotonin and then muscle stiffness. But I've been having that since October, and I think it has to do with serotonin. So like muscle rigidity, back pain, like I have lower back pain, muscle pain, knees hurting, right? Joints kind of sore and stuff from having very tense muscles. So that's been a thing. Um, But yeah, I actually feel pretty good considering how awful I felt last December. Like, you guys probably don't remember, but I barely posted at all in December last year. I was so sick. I had migraines all the time. It was like December was one big migraine. I think it's because this serotonin thing, it was like just starting in December last year. And I feel like this December, it's like ending. So yeah. So yeah, kind of crazy, which I'm really excited because this serotonin stuff, I always dealt with it with every single weight loss journey I did. I never like just sat with it and dealt with it. Like I always would just gain the weight back. This time it's like I'm sitting in it and I'm just staying and my brain is changing and it's like I'm becoming just better. I don't know how to describe it. Like just I like who I am a lot more now. It's weird to say that, but I feel like myself. I feel more like me. I don't feel so ill or like hypohaze or anything. I just feel like normal, you know? Normal but a little moody. A little bit moody. I don't get that ragey. I don't feel crazy all the time, but I am still kind of like into trash fire and like, like there's a little bit of a toxicity there because I'm pretty low energy. So it's like I have been liking like drama content and stuff. Like I watched the Hidden Channel. She's doing this like Karen reaction thing where she's reacting like crazy Karens. And like the visceral emotional reactions of the Karens, it like kind of gives me energy and it makes me feel like I'm kind of like I am kind of Psyvamp, to be honest, these days. So I'm still a little Psyvampish. And then my appetite's lower. So my appetite is actually coming down. So I don't know if I'm going to start losing weight again, but it is coming down. I'm not actually counting, but I'm not eating what I was eating a lot in November. And I'm just not anymore. So I still am probably eating more than when I'm in a deficit, but there are times when I feel like I'm in a deficit again. Like I might be low key because I'm walking a lot. I'm working a lot. I have a bad feeling of sitting with my legs crossed like a kindergartner. That's so funny. I never put my feet on the ground. Oh my God. You do need to fix your diet, bot. That's on period. I have to learn how to make latte cap. Can't read it because stupid heart. Espresso, etc. on the job. Caps. Okay. That's not too bad. I think you can learn that pretty fast. Because like I did McDonald's and I learned how to make all the food. It doesn't take that long. I feel like I want to show you guys some plants. I don't remember. I should show you guys Lily Rush because I have her in here because it's Christmas. So she's in here because we have a fake tree this year. It's kind of lame, so I'm not going to show it. We can do problematic body check. You can see how much weight I've gained, how fat I am now. I have gained. Gain the weight of you and lose it. I don't know. I've gained, but it's not. It could be worse, I guess. How long does it take for what? Oh, to learn? Maybe like 2 weeks, something like that. So this is Lily, the great Lily. She's Lily Rush. She's named after a TV show character. She's named after Cold Case, the blonde chick, if you know the show. It's from the 2000s. This is Lily. Now, she is hella prolific, okay? She loves flowers. These flowers are kind of dead, but they've been around for like ever. I need to kind of start, but look at how big she is. Isn't that crazy? This is huge. So she's down in the living room all the time. I've talked to you guys about her. You can see how many flowers she has. So many flowers. She's like the happiest peace lily ever. But she's probably not happy being up here, to be honest. But I have her across my window with the alcove because the alcove window is like, it's always open. So I make sure that she gets enough light from that. And then here's Demi. Demi's still alive, you guys. So I brought Demi up here. So Demi's still alive. She almost looks like a completely different species now, but she is here. So Demi did detransition. Demi was a they, and now Demi is a she. So my Calathea is dying horribly. Taylor, aka Taylor, is dying. I don't even want to show you. I can show you guys my fern. Fern is doing great. I need to water my fern. See, this is pretty good. You guys might remember this. But that's pretty big now. This is Ivy. I named her Ivy. She's not an Ivy, but her name is Ivy. I named her that after a Taylor Swift song. And then Bot Jr. is still very slowly growing. Bot Jr.'s little nub is a little bit bigger, but it doesn't look any different. You can see the little nub. Tiny little nub right there. I just touched it. But we don't have any new leaves yet. Thanks a lot, Bot Jr. But it is a little taller. Bot Jr. grows super slow. Oh, Bot Jr. Oh, and then I guess I can show you guys my they. My ferns have brown tips. I think it's too dry. Yeah, you need humidity. They are so not forgiving. But look at how great my they is doing. So they detransitioned, but then they retransitioned back to they. But look at that. That is like fire. This totally came back. Like, I cut that down to the nubs, and look at how great it's doing. They are doing. They're doing really well. So I'm very pleased. I need to water them. Yeah, they're very uppity, which to be fair, plants are legitimately non-binary. So I guess that's fine. Oh, and then I have Connor here. So my tree, you guys already saw my tree, but he's up here, which one of the trees died. So I have to take it out. I have to do surgery on him. Yeah, they are growing fast. They are very happy in that spot. So that spot is like a really good amount of light for them. And they were scorched in the alcove. They kept getting scorched. So all the leaves were dying, but the leaves look so healthy. They're big, they're nice, they're healthy. It's totally great. So the surgery was totally a success. But yeah, total success. So yeah, I mean, they're doing pretty good because like all my plants are doing okay. This is like one of the hardest times for the plants. The fern, I don't know. I don't water the fern that often. I need to water it again. I need to water her again. But the thing is, she's in a big pot. So there's a lot of soil. So I think that helps. And then it's a sealed type of medium. Like Demi's in a terracotta, or as the British would say, a terracotta. Demi's in terracotta pot. So it dries out faster. And then Lily's in just like also kind of terracotta, but it's covered. But Yeah. The pink one and the plant, the Fittonia. Yeah. Fittonias are pretty. I like that one because that's more of a day. So I like the white one. And then this is Joe. Joe is okay, but Joe is a little fugly. So Joe has some issues, but Joe is alive. So that's all that matters. I think Joe needs more light, to be honest. I don't know if Joe is happy there, but I don't want to move him. So he's going to stay there. But it's also like, winter. So I think it's just getting to him a little bit. But yeah, let me show you guys my scarf too. So this scarf is almost done. I'm just doing the updates now. I feel really gay. This is almost done. This is so pretty. This one's for me. Look at that. Period. Oh my gosh. So this is my color. These are my color. So I'm very happy with this. I know. I love it. I love it so much. And it's almost winter. So I've got to get this shit going. Yeah, I think he does need more light, but it's the solstice and it's like a fugly time. So maybe I should move him, but yeah, this is so close to being done. I don't even know how much longer this needs to be. Like technically it's done when it's as tall as you, and this is pretty much like it's almost there. So literally it's like almost done. Let me see what it looks like. Watch me be like, I think this is done, Loki. Yeah, so I think it could stand to be a bit longer. I kind of like long scarves for me, just in general, but I'm really happy with this. It'll be kind of like this. So the colors look really nice on my tone. It's like really good. So it's kind of similar to the one I did for my grandma, but this is more my tones. So it's just a multicolored yarn. It's really easy. But I just want to show you guys I have been doing it. So yeah, I think I'm just going to use the whole thing and just like make it really long because I like long. And unless if it just gets ridiculous, then I guess I can stop. But it can be longer now. I think it could still be quite a bit longer. I think I'm just going to do the whole thing, to be honest. So I'm pretty happy with it. Yeah, because I joined the new one like right here. So this is like one whole one. So it'll be twice as long as this. See, so it's like this is the second one. And this is how much left. Like, so I'll just do the whole thing. And then I'll have a beautiful long scarf. And then I need to get my hat done. I was trying to do Tim Pool winter last year, but I didn't because I didn't do any hats. But I need to wash my hats that I already have, and I need to finish. I have a red one that I need to finish, but it's like kind of a pain in the ass to do, which is why I haven't finished it. And then I think hat wise, I want to redo. You know how I have my purple one? The one that I have that's purple, it's been worn like 500 million times and it's like broken down. And so I kind of need to make another purple one, another like plum color one, because I just need to redo it because it's like I need a new one. It's too fugified. And then I really want to do like a mustard yellow hat as well. But I have some other stuff I need to knit. So, because, yeah. So, I guess I can tell you guys. But we will be having a new addition in our family soon. So I need to make a baby blanket for somebody. So that's kind of crazy. So I'll probably be doing that next year. So that'll probably be my main project, which is really nice. So I think so anyways. I'll see if I want to do it because it's hard. Those blankets are a commitment. We don't know yet. But it's not mine. So that we do know. I can tell you guys I'm not pregnant, I promise. Could you imagine? It's not me. It isn't me, I promise. But anyways, that might be a project. I'll let you guys know once I know. And knowing me and my problematic behavior, I'll probably be doing something gender normative. I think if it's a boy, I might do a little different. Like I might do like brown or like multicolor or green or something. And if it's a girl, I might do like lavender. Like I think I want to do something a little bit less traditional. And then I am into the multicolored and stuff. So I'm going to see. It's just hard because it's a lot. And I will be using a chunky yarn. Oh my gosh, Caleb. I will be using a chunky yarn. You wouldn't think that, Caleb, if I was standing next to you. I'm like I think I'm like way taller than you. Or I'm definitely taller than you. So definitely taller, definitely wider, for sure. I'm sure. Yeah, I'm 6'1". So that doesn't seem female at all. I'm relatively broad shoulder, 6'1". That's not female-ish. Yes, I would definitely be way taller than you. But hello, John. I'm about to go soon, John, but I don't have to go yet. I'm not like on a schedule or anything, but yes, Caleb does. Caleb show does. I know. Oh gosh, I'm so tired. But I was just showing my scarf. This is almost done. Yeah, John is shorty. You are all short. I'm just kidding. Ironically, Eric isn't that short. Eric's like 6 foot. And he's really wide. He's like wider than me. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like why the fuck is Eric like a fucking football player? It's like, geez, he's super wide. Like, I will never forget when I did my collab with Eric, and I was like, you're like as wide as me. And I'm like, I weigh like over 100 pounds more than you. And he was like, oh my gosh, you know. But I'm like, he's really, 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 really broad shouldered. Oh, how tall are you, Mountain? Caleb isn't like super short. I don't remember. I think Caleb's like 5'10" or something. Something like that. Okay, you're short. Yeah, Caleb isn't short. Caleb's average. I consider 5'10" relatively average. I think like 5'9", 5'10" is like average for a man, I think. That'd be tall for a girl to be 5'10". That's tall for a girl, but for a guy, I think it's like average. I don't know how tall 6'1" is, but it's not short. Yeah, I would think so. But he's not in America. He's not in America, so I don't know what it's like there, Caleb. You'd have to let me know. I'm much taller than the average man. Interesting. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I could see that, Caleb. This is why I sit on my feet, because the couch doesn't let my feet hit the floor. Oh my gosh, Bot is so short. I'm gonna start. I shouldn't say that because I don't think that's short for a girl. I think it's like okay. I think that's like average. You said 5'4", right? Did I get that right? I think I'm starting to lose touch with reality. 5'4". That's like average for a girl. I'm not gonna hate on you. I'm not gonna hate on you. Okay, so you have a lot of shorties there. That makes sense. Yeah, here in America, I think like 5'9" is technically average for a male in America, but it's different. I think like in Scandinavia, it's like people are really freaking tall, so The couch is made for tall men. Well, it probably is. But yeah, so I guess 6'1" is, like, tall. It's, like, kinda tall, somewhat tall, tall-ish. Um, but yeah, that's how tall I am. Like, it was funny when I did that gardening video with Zeta, and I was so much taller than her, and everyone was like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like, I'm not short." So oh, wow, so you're short by your family standard. You're still average. I think 5'4" is average for a woman. I think that's average. I think John's 5'7", that's kinda short in my opinion. No offense, John, but that's a little shorty for me. I'd be like, yeah. If I hear, "Oh, that guy's 5'7", I'd be like, "He's short." Not like super short, not like really, really, really short, but just kinda short. But I would consider 5'9", 5'10" around average. That's my view. And then, anything taller than me is tall, in my opinion. I'm like, "You're tall." Like, somebody who's 6'3", that's tall. 6'6" is really tall, for example, that kind of thing. But I would consider myself tall or tallish on the tall side of the spectrum. The couch is made for tall men. That's so funny. It's weird because I'm as tall or taller than most women, but men dwarf me. Yeah, that's normal. Like, you're still I would say you're short for a man, but you're not, like, extremely short. Like, 5'7" isn't extremely short. Like, if a guy was like, I know guys I've known or I know of guys that are, like, 5'4", that's short. That's very short. Um, that would be really short. Which weirdly enough, like, my parents are not tall. Well, like, my mom is average. My mom's, like, 5'5", and then my dad is, like, 5'6", and so I don't know what the hell. But have a theory that's just because I ate like a hog every single day, and it made me tall. I ate forever, and I slept a lot when I was growing up, and I think those 2 things made me tall. That's my opinion, because I don't know. I wasn't switched at birth because I look exactly like both of my parents. I look like a complete 50-50 combination of my 2 parents. I could never deny that they are my parents because I look just like both of them. It's really weird. So I know I'm not switched at birth, but fun fact, shorter people are less likely to get cancer. I don't know if that's true. I think it just depends. Great Danes don't live long. Well, but those are dogs. There are older people that are tall. There's just not as many super tall people in general. But I also think too, you tend to shrink with age a little bit. So there's that as well, because your spine compresses. So my mom is probably 5'4" now, but don't ever tell her I said that. But she used to be 5'5", but she's older. Yeah, I'm pretty much fine. You tend to shrink a little bit with age. Like, you lose some height because your spine compresses. So that's fun. No, but I think you will live longer if you're, like, healthier. Ba is 5'4". Ba is fine. That's, like, a normal woman's height. I feel so bad. I feel like we're, like, discriminating against women in this chat. That's normal. Ba has a normal height. That's totally normal. I don't know. I don't know why I thought 5'4" was short. It really isn't. It's normal. That's like a woman. It's a woman's height. Oh my gosh. Well, it's just funny because, like, if you look at, like, Taylor Swift, I think Taylor Swift is 5'10". That's tall. And I think like Carly Kloss is like 6 feet or something, or 6'1". Like that's really tall for a woman. So that is tall. Oh my gosh, as short people are oppressed minority. Shorties is a slur. Oh my god. It's just for the simple fact that shorter people have fewer cells, so there is lower chance of things going wrong. Possibly. Tall women think. Tall women people think. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. I don't know. I don't know. I think for me, I'm fine, I guess. Like, I'm pretty happy for my height. Oh, wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy. I think when I was younger, I was like, "I hope I can make it to 6 feet." Like, and it was kind of like a to be honest, it's kind of a shot in hell, because of my parents. They're not like, my dad is not tall. He's 5'6". That's short. He's short. And my mom is 5'5", so it was, like, not like which is average, but I wasn't expecting but I remember when I was younger, like, a lot of my guy friends and stuff, they were like, "Oh gosh, blah, blah," and they were like, hopefully they were like, "You might make it to 6 feet. You might." And I did make it to 6 feet. And then randomly, when I was, like, between the ages of 22 and 23, I got another inch taller, which is super random. So it's like I got to 6 feet tall, and I was 6 feet forever. I was 6 feet probably from the time I was, like, 16 or something, 16, 17, 18, like, in that range. I was 6 feet. And then I got measured again when I was 23, and I was 6'1", and I was like, "What the fuck?" That was weird. Like, I was so shocked. I was like, "Why the fuck am I like, why how did I grow again?" Like, it was so weird. But ever since then, I've just stayed at 6'1", so it never changed after that. I don't think. I should, like, measure myself. Watch my height, like, randomly changing. Could you imagine? It's, like, still fluctuating with time. Yeah, that was pretty weird, though, because I thought you were done growing at 21, and at 21, I was 6 feet, but by 23, I was 6'1", and I was like, "What the fuck?" So, random. I stopped growing around 13, maybe 14. I think that's kinda normal. Some of the most popular male corn stars are short because their stuff looks comparatively more impressive and they are filmed with a wide-angle lens. That's interesting. I'm technically 5'7" and a half. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it really matters that much, John, if you're gay, but, like, you're probably fine, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't really matter. But I think if you were straight, it might be, like, a little tough, but I don't know. Yeah, that's how I say it. I say Ghey, Gahey. It's Ghey. So you're probably fine. I will say there are probably guys that don't like short guys that would be like, "I'm not into John," but there are guys that like yeah, there are guys that like smaller guys anyways, so it just depends. Whereas, like, Caleb's height is, like, average, so he'd probably have, like, kind of more broad appeal, so to speak. But there are a lot of guys that like taller guys, like I do. I'm toxic. I like toxic patriarchal oppression. I'm just kidding. But no, I am very attracted to a guy who's taller than me or who's my height. So I like taller. Sorry, taller or equal. But I would prefer taller. So that's why I'm toxic. I'm a toxic queen. But that's okay. Yeah, that's true. Very true, Caleb. You got options. You are fine. Gosh, my eye is twitching. Ugh, freaking eye. Yeah, so in the Gahay world, you always have options unless if you're me. So unless if you're a mid-fat, then you don't. So I'm like the one category of Gahay that doesn't really have an option. So isn't that fun? I'd have to either gain weight or lose weight, and then I would be fine. But I'm in the dead zone. I'm in the static area of the dating world. It's the it's like the nothing goes on. Oh gosh, John, it's I want to, but it's like I don't know why. I feel like it's such a commitment, and I'm very busy. I know it sucks. I need to not be busy anymore. Oh my gosh. Oh, I got have like a tickle in my throat. Oh. Jeez. But yeah, I mean, if I can ever get to the point where I do YouTube full time, I will do Sims all the time. Like it would be a lot easier, which I'm working on it. As you guys know, me and Lisa are working together next year. So we're trying to get a plan and stuff and set some goals. And you guys all have to follow our podcast. You're required to by law. I just hope you realize that. I don't know. Caleb is into those categories. I don't believe in those categories. You can't, I'm going to sound like a Gen X. You can't categorize me. I'm different. I'm whatever I am or whatever the fuck. What is it? What is what? That's the other thing about me too. I do like foreign men too. It's a problem. It's just a problem because it's hard. It's like hard to find because I live in America. So it's like, yeah, not tons of foreign guys around. Yeah, it's about fighting systemic oppression and white supremacy in the corporate environment. That's what it's about. Mhm. We're going to be doing some DEI trainings together. Mhm. Yeah, so we're working on. Why don't you believe me? Why don't you believe me? I don't know what an otter is. I think it's like somebody that has a little bit of hair but is thin, I guess. I don't know. I have no idea. I literally don't know. That's all I got. I don't know. I think it's a gay guy that has some hair and but is thinner and maybe is shorter. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I consider myself probably guy next door. It's really cheesy, but that's probably like the closest category I am, which is really gay, and I hate it. But they tend to be hairier overall, still with that thin to slimly athletic build. Okay, I love that you researched that, Mountain. I love that you researched it. That was great. Oh my god. Yeah, for me, I don't mind my hair. I don't care. I think the only hair I don't really love is I don't really love my back hair, to be honest. I think if I were to ever like do hair removal, I would remove that. But I'd want to get married first because I'd want to like, because I'm the type of person where like if my husband or whatever, like if he liked that I had back hair, I would leave it for him. If he didn't mind it being gone, then I would laser that off. But I like the way my chest is. I don't feel like I'm too hairy. I know you guys are surprised, but I did say a while back, like, my butt is not hairy. I don't have a hairy butt. It's smooth. So, I just thought you should know. I do. It's like upper back, but yeah, I do. I have upper back hair, which, like I said, I don't know, like, because gay men are weird sometimes where they're like super into it or they're like not into it. Does that make sense? So it's like I want to make sure because like if my guy was like, oh my gosh, I love your back hair, blah blah, like I don't ever want you to get rid of it, then I would just wear it proudly and loudly. Like I don't care. But if it was just up to me, then I probably would get rid of it. But it's like if I happen to find a guy who's into it, then why would I get rid of it? Especially if he was what I wanted in a guy. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't want to make a commitment. Is it gay if a guy compliments on another guy's fresh shaven face? Not necessarily. That's like very low on the scale of gay. It's not that much. Yeah, your caps lock is funny. I do like bots disguise. I do. I like that Caleb showed himself. Show yourself. I like that Caleb showed himself. It's very Frozen. Oh, so Caleb's probably otter-ish then? But yeah, I don't know. Like I have hair like right here. And then I have like a touch, like a dusting of hair on my stomach. And then I have hairy legs, but not crazy hairy. And then I do have hair on the upper back, and that's the only hair that I'm not really a fan of. I like the hair on my chest, like you can see. Oh, maybe you can't. Maybe you can. I don't know. I feel like we're getting really intimate here. Let me show you. So this is like how thick my hair. Oh, you can't see it. Oh, you can. Okay. This is how thick the hair is on my chest. So it's not like total Brillo pad, but it's not bare either. And that's kind of how it is on my back too. I am not showing you my nips. No. But that's like how hairy my chest is. And then I think the belly, I'm not going to show it because it's too fat. Yeah, the belly is similar. So the belly is like about the same. And then I think my upper back is about the same. But that's the only place where I'd be like, like I don't really like it that much. But my bum is smooth. I have a smooth bum. But you'll never see. You'll never know. But it is. I don't think so. I'd rather just laser it. But like I don't care about having hair. Like I'm not like one of those that's like, oh, I'm tripping about my hair. It's like my arms are I don't know. I mean, they're not it's not like Brillo pad, right? But it's not bare either. It's like there's hair. There's some. That's how I would describe it. But this is no shaving, nothing. But to me, I feel like it looks kind of like it looks masculine and stuff. So I like it. Shoulders, oh my gosh. Kind of the same. Maybe a little bit lighter. But shoulders are probably the same as the arm. So I don't mind it on my shoulder either. Oh my gosh. Yeah, she might have. Yeah, I'm just saying. But yeah, the thing is, like, I'm gay. I don't mind looking like a man. I know I sound like a girl and I am like a girl, but I don't mind looking like a man. Like, I think it's a good thing. Yeah, that's crazy, but I wonder. I mean, there could be some kind of hormonal issue. Oh, I'm sorry, John. He's seeing another girl. That's okay. I mean, It's tough, John, but you'll just be fine. I think you'll be fine. You just gotta, I don't know, you gotta see what's out there, I guess. So I love how bots caps lock is like it makes everything like seem so intense. Like everything is like a huge, like John said, a huge revelation. It is kind of funny. Oh my god. Oh my god. No, it's fine. Express yourself. Feel it with your heart. Anyways, you guys. Oh man. Love that we talked about body hair today. That was fun. Okay, fair enough. Oh my gosh, Caleb, you need to stop with the poof. Don't eat the damn chips anymore. I'm gonna kill you. Caleb is hypo, you guys. I'm gonna start calling him hypo. It's coming through. That's a sign. Yeah, because your testosterone is turning into estrogen because you're hypolicious and you're eating a bunch of chips. That's why it's normal. I'm gonna kick your ass, Caleb. You need to take stinging nettle root. Caleb, your aromatase is too high. You're gonna be like estrogeny Timple if you don't get it together. You're getting hypo. I feel the hypo haze is creeping up on me. Surreal. I'm damned if I do give a damn. Oh no, I did something fugly again. What is this? Oh, I think it's fine. Fugly. Did I go the wrong way? You know, I did that once. I like knitted when I was talking to you guys and I went the wrong way. I think it's okay. Gosh, that looks so weird. I don't know. I have a bad feeling. I feel like something's wrong with this knitting. Let's see. Oh no, I think it's okay. I'm tripping. You guys distract me. You ruin my life. Well, yeah, because a lot of people are hypolish, Kayla. Gosh, you don't get it. People live in the poofdemic world. That's what happens. The poofdemic is real. The estrogen endemic is real. I only know because I almost died. So that's how I know. It only took me almost dying to figure it out. That's all I needed to do. Isn't that great? I'm still pretty hypo. So my hair is kind of like it's like thin all over. The hypolish poofdemic. I love that. I love it too, Mountain. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, my hair is just like it's hypo. I got nice hypo hair. It's really beautifully hypolish. So it's very like, it's been this way for like since 2019. My hair has been this way. And everyone was like, "You're going bald." Like I used to get all these hate comments. They'd be like, "You're going bald, you're going bald." And it's like my hairline is literally the same that it was 4 years ago. So I have documentation. That's the problem. I documented. Okay. I do have baby hairs too. So I don't know how my hair will look when I'm done, but I'll have to see how it looks. Like once I've lost the weight and all that crap. Oh yeah, Caleb's going full blown. Caleb, you are young. You are hypo. I'm diagnosing Caleb. Caleb is like 20 or 21. You are hypo. I will say it until the cows come home. I will say it and I will shout it from the rooftops every day of my life. I will say, hypo, lay off the chips, stop eating the chips. Don't do it. But it doesn't make you a bad person. It just makes you hypo. I feel you have to go like this. You're disgusting, Bon. You should be shamed. Okay. That's what I have to say to that. That's all I have to say. You're disgusting and you should be shamed. We should do like public shaming ritual. A public shaming ritual of Bot for doing that. We need to do like shame, 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 and like throw like hot Cheetos at her or something. And then Bot has to shave her head in front of everyone because she had hot fries. Can you guys believe I haven't had like hot fries or Takis or anything? I haven't had anything like that since like early 2021. Isn't that insane? But that's how I'm coming back to life. I haven't had the poof in almost 3 years. Stop it, Caleb. Oh my God, Caleb. I didn't convert to anything. You're lying. This actually is really warm, to be honest. It's like very warm. It actually feels really good because I think it's covering my ears. I should be a nun. I'm the nun. I'm just kidding. I'm that demon nun in that movie. But anyways, it feels really nice. It feels warm. I wonder if it's getting colder. Oh my gosh. I have my ASMR artist guy that I'm obsessed with. He's my phone picture. I would never want him to know that. I would like die if he ever knew because it's so dorky. But I just have to say he's so cute. He's so cute. The hypo haze cure. Oh my gosh, Mountain, you're gonna love because I got my music video planned for next year. So my plan is to do a music video once a year around March, like around spring. Oh my gosh. So that is my plan. So I told you guys get the tea here, but my next video is called Hypo Haze, and it's a spoof of Lavender Haze. Because it's perfect. Because it's the lavender haze. It's the hypo haze. So you guys get the tea. So my plan is to have that out in March because I like to do them in March or April because it sets the tone for like the next year of weight loss or whatever. So like my last one was anti-thyroid. I don't know if you've seen it, Esoteric. Maybe you would find it super cringy. But I actually did do a music video of Anti-Hero, but it's called Anti-Thyroid, which of course they're all Taylor Swift because I'm obsessed with Taylor Swift. But that one, it was kind of like my farewell to super fat. It was like my farewell to super fat moment. And so the next video will be like my farewell to mid fat because it's like the mid fat video. And then I have one for when I'm even smaller. I already have a third one planned. So, and a fourth one. So I'm like Taylor, I calculate everything. So everything's calculated and constructed years in advance. I'm just kidding. But yes, they kind of are my own eras. They're just representative of the year before. So like when I did anti-thyroid, it was supposed to represent 2022. And it obviously came out in 2023. So next year it will represent 2023. So it'll represent the hypo haze, and like, because this is the year that I got out of the hypo haze. It's 2023. Whereas like last year, it was just like kind of synthesizing everything and about being just huge like that, you know. But I'm not that big anymore, so it's weird. So fun times. My Eras. My Eras. My Eras era. That's what I meant. I'm just kidding. I feel. Yeah, so I'm still formulating my plan, but I'm excited to do it. I want to do a reaction to my anti-thyroid video, but I can't stand watching it, and it like makes me want to die to watch it. So I'm just like, oh God. But I will eventually decode the lyrics. I'll decode everything because I want to explain them, because every single lyric in that spoof, it like has meaning and it actually does allude to something. So, because I'm just a genius, you know, I'm just amazing. Like honestly, I'm just like so ahead of my time, and like I'm just like a really misunderstood artist that nobody's discovered, and like I'm just a really amazing hidden talent. So speaking of conversation, what do you think of all the non-binary Muslim converts as of late? I don't know. Oh my God, stop it, Caleb. Stop. I don't know if I want to react to that. It's too scarring. Like, there are certain things that are too scarring for words. And I just feel like I will die if I cover that. Like, I might not make it through. But then again, I don't have anything to do on Christmas Eve. So, literally, I don't have anything to do. But it's going to be like Christmas time for you or something, Caleb. Aren't you busy? You're not going to be around. Just saying. Like, nobody's going to be around. So, why should I do it? I'm gonna eat like a hog. I probably will go live, but I want to have a pizza on Christmas Eve. But my mom makes food too, and I'm gonna eat that food. And I'm gonna eat lots of estrogen. Watch the recording. What do you mean? Well, yeah, I can do that. Like, I'm not gonna be able to stream it and all that crap because my phone fucking sucks. But we can at least listen to it. Maybe, I don't know. Look at this. I'm a little moony. Moony and moody. We're back. It's not too bad, but it's there. We got some moon. Oh, that's horrifying, John. Wow. Oh, you can watch the recording. You can, but should I? So, yeah, like you're going to be busy Christmas, right, Caleb? So I shouldn't do it. I'm laying on my side. It's hard to type. That's horrifying, John. John knows how to drop like the horrifying comments, just like out of nowhere. Oh my God. Okay, you guys. I think I should probably get going, but I'm kind of addicted to streaming now. So I don't know what to do. Because I don't know when I'm going to stream again. Because I'm like, because 'tis the damn season. Because it's the fugly solstice time. But this is probably the last fugly. Isn't that crazy? I don't feel that bad for it being like this time. Usually I feel like way worse. But we'll see how I do like in a couple weeks. I might be like on my ass and just like dead and like staring at the ceiling and just like, why am I alive here? You know, that happened to me like in the summer, like in August. I was just like, or no, in July, I was just like, what is the point? What? Like, why should I do anything anymore? You know, like I was so depressed. It was so horrible. It was so horrible. Yeah, that's crazy, John. Jeez. Okay, let me see. But yes, Mountain Esoteric likes the lingo of estrogen-y, serotonin-y, hypolicious, hypohaze. I can't remember anything else. A touch of the hypo, been touched by the hypo, the poof, poofdemic. I think that's everything. I do like saying the poofdemic. That is very accurate. To a doctor, yes. We've been involved in the poofdemic for about 40 years, especially, but it's been around for the last 100 years. So we need to talk about the poofdemic. We had Poofdemic 1.0 in 1918, and then we had Poofdemic 2.0 in 2020. Caleb, you're not going to be around on Christmas Eve anyways, so what does it matter? Yes, it is a growing thesaurus. And then we do have antithyroid and prothyroid. But yeah, again, I don't know if you saw my music video, Mountain, but the meaning of antithyroid, it's this idea that no matter what you do, it's against your thyroid. So if you're binging on seed oils and PUFA. But if you're dieting, then you're eating kale covered in PUFA. So it's like, that's why the line works so well. It must be exhausting, always rooting for the antithyroid. And that's basically like, no matter what you're doing, whether you're dieting or you're binging, you're against your thyroid. So it continually gets worse over the years because you're always against it. Because of the way that people think, like, oh, I need to lose weight. I need to just go keto and start eating kale every day. Like, kale is like one of the worst foods for your thyroid. There are thyroid neutral foods. I would consider, yeah, there are plenty of thyroid neutral foods. I think something like, well, I don't know if it's neutral, but there are stuff that's like not as good or not as bad. I would say like a thyroid neutral food is probably like an avocado or like salmon, something like that. It's not terrible for your thyroid, but it's not supportive. So like if you were hypo, salmon would probably affect you negatively. But if you're not, it probably would be fine. I think something like an almond is kind of similar to that. Not almond milk. Almond milk is too high in PUFA. That would put in, to me, that's a little bit in the antithyroid category, but I think like having some nuts, like nuts are probably, well, no, nuts are kind of anti. So, but there are things that are anti, but they're not as anti. So like a seed oil is like horrifically antithyroid. Kale is horrifically antithyroid. Like there are certain things you should just never have. Something like alcohol, marijuana, antithyroid, just straight up. But there are things that are prothyroid too, which is like red meat, sugar, chocolate, coffee. Those are prothyroid. Um, so it's like about balancing it out. So if there's enough, good. Saturated fat is prothyroid. So your lard and coconut oil and butter and all that is prothyroid. But yeah, so I would say thyroid neutral would probably be like maybe something like rice or something. Olive oil is probably thyroid neutral. That's a good example of something that's thyroid neutral. It's not To me, thyroid neutral is not exactly, like, terrible for your thyroid, but it's not helpful. So, like, it's something where if you're hypo, it's not gonna make you feel better. It might even make you feel a little bit worse, but it's not that much worse, which to me, that would be like salmon or, fish or some nuts. Like, some nuts are not as high in PUFA as others. Um, yes, your walnuts are PUFalicious. Yeah, I think they're actually one of the worst nuts. But again, if you're not hypo and you don't feel anything, it's probably fine. I just wouldn't eat like 5 pounds of it a day. Like, you could give yourself hypo if you ate like a shit ton of it all the time. But having a handful here or there, it's not that big of a deal. But if you were SMO, I would be like, don't eat it. It's not going to help you. No, something that is horrifically anti-thyroid is flax. Flax seeds are like the most estrogenic food in the plant on the planet. It's like, I think it's like way more estrogeny than soy, and it destroys testosterone. So if you're male and you're eating flax, you are destroying your testosterone. There's also a lot of anti-testosterone stuff too, like peppermint and licorice and lavender and chamomile and all the things they promote as healthy, pretty much. I wonder why, right? It's always interesting how they promote stuff that always leans a certain way, you know? It's just interesting. Like, they don't ever promote red meat, for example. I never hear them promoting cow liver. I never hear them promoting full fat dairy. You don't really hear that as promoted. You just don't. All I hear about is almond milk and fish and, stuff like that. Licorice or something. It's relaxing, you know? It's like, no, like, probably a stinging nettle would be better for most men. No, but oat milk is not it. It's Poofalicious. They usually put seed oils in it. I just wouldn't touch it. Just have milk. If you can't handle lactose, then have lactose-free. Period. Also, kefir is lactose-free, and most hard cheeses are very low in lactose, lactose, because they don't really have any carbs. So there are ways. But also, I think goat milk is not as bad for lactose intolerant people sometimes. So it could be like a different dairy is better. But you have to have enough calcium, especially if you're really hypo, like, you're probably in need of calcium. It's like very important that a hypothyroid person gets calcium. Like, I think for a fat person, it's extremely important to be getting enough calcium. Okay. You could use kefir, yes. Yeah, tea tree. Tea tree is also estrogeny. Nice mountain. Nice. Yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff it's promoted, and I just think it's for a reason. I don't know. Like, it's weird, but I'm not trying to put on my tinfoil hat today, so we'll leave it away for now. But yeah, I think all those things, they're not as impactful as seed oils. Seed oils are the absolute worst, and it's the only thing I will say for everybody. So cod liver oil, I'm pretty sure it's Poofalicious. Pretty sure. It does have vitamin A and vitamin D in it, so it's up to you. But I would not have tons of it because I'm pretty sure it's Poofalish. I'm pretty sure. Which again, it's promoted. Which again, they promote taking fish oil. It's very interesting, isn't it? It's literally promoted to take fish oil. That is in a pill. It's PUFA. I used to take, when I was keto, I took flax oil. So fucking dumb. Just shoot my thyroid in the face. It almost killed me. Keto almost killed me because between my binging and keto, I was so hypo, I almost died. Like, I mean it. I don't think people take it seriously, but it's like you can die of hypothyroidism. Like, I was getting to the point where I was basically comatose. I laid in bed for like 3 or 4 months. I would get up to work, but I'd only work like 4 hours. And then I would go back to bed and I would just lay in bed forever. And then in the winter of 2020, I used to lay, I've told you guys, I used to lay in the shower for 6 hours because my hot water never ran out. I think it was like set up for like I don't know what the fuck it was, but I guess it was set up to the main thing. And it was the only thing that would give me relief is being in the hot water. So I would lay in the shower for 6 hours. Like, that is not normal. That is like you're about to die and you're doing weird shit like that. So, yeah. And one of the things I did to lead up to that point is I took flax oil. I took flax seed oil. I ate kale every day. I had troughs of kale and troughs of spinach. Horrible for your thyroid. I did it for months. I would eat sunflower seeds. I usually didn't have tons of seed oils, but I would still, that flaxseed oil was. And I was very hypo, extreme. I was going nuts. It was making me crazy. It's making me absolutely nuts. Yeah, I don't know if sunflower seeds, I don't think, well, if they're like cooked in seed oils, then they're really bad, but I don't think they're like absolutely horrible if you're like not really hypo. But I wouldn't have them. I think for me, it's because I almost died of hypo. It's like there's just certain things I'm just never going to go back to. Like, I feel like I have had enough PUFA for like 5 lifetimes already. Um, to the point where I was still dying almost 2 years from poof. Like, last in December, I was still so fucking ill. And I was just like, "Oh my gosh, I cannot believe I'm still sick." And because they last in you for a long time, especially for me, because like I had a lot of PUFA. So it's like it was in me for a long time and it's still there, but it's so much more manageable now. It's not that bad. Because I haven't eaten it in years and I've detoxed a lot of it. But it's like I will never go there again. Like, there's just certain things like I've seen where it leads, and I see people falling into the haze all the time. I see people getting into worse and worse hypo. I see people gaining tons of weight, acting crazy. Like, I see the haze. I see it. I see the people that are like, "Oh, I go to bed at 4 or 5 in the morning, blah, blah." Like, that kind of stuff is like, that's hypo haze behavior, And so it's like I see it and I know where it leads because I followed that path to the very end. So I know how it starts, how it goes, what happens next. It's not good. And so for me, it's like I'm never going back to that. I'm never eating that shit again. So, but like I said, I had enough for like 5 lifetimes because I binged. I was a massive binger. So, like, when it comes to chips, I've eaten so many chips in my lifetime. I can never eat, I could go my whole life without eating another conventionally made chip and it would be fine. Like, I've had, well, I don't even know, just so many of them, so much over so many years. My water bill was fine because my utilities were included. And it was the Trump economy, so utilities weren't like insane like they are now. So, yeah, that's my answer. I don't know if you guys know, but the podcast, it's the channel's technically there. It's called The Fat Construct. So we're really close to getting started, but we have a date in mind of when we're going to launch. So we were gonna launch in August, but it didn't work out for a lot of different reasons. And I think it's better that it's gonna launch when it is. But I'll let you guys know once it's completely finalized, but I'm pretty sure we're finalized. I guess you guys can get the tea because you guys are like here, but it's in January. So it should be coming in late January, around that time. So get ready. You guys have to subscribe, you have to follow, and you have to join that channel, and you have to like do everything. So, which I am going to promote it to my main channel because that's where we're going to break down the research and that kind of stuff. Yeah, totally. So yeah, anyways, you guys, I think I'm going to go. Don't get too crazy. I do miss The Sims, John. I do. We should do it, but I just don't know when because I don't really have time. But anyways, you guys, maybe in January. I'll just say I'm going to do everything in January. Anyways, you guys, I'll talk to you later. Have a good night. Be sure to follow our podcast when it comes out. Otherwise, I'll kill you all. Okay? I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.